Every team enters training camp with a plan, a depth chart, a timeline, a vision for how the season will unfold. But sometimes, all of that gets obliterated by the sheer force of unexpected talent. That's exactly what's happening in Cleveland. A rookie who was supposed to develop quietly in the background is now reshaping the quarterback room. It's rewriting the team's internal dynamics and turning veterans into skeptics or believers. What began as healthy competition has morphed into something far more dangerous. A power struggle with consequences that could define the Browns' entire future across sports media and social platforms. This story is exploding. And at the heart of it all, Shedeur Sanders, the fifth-round pick who wasn't supposed to be here this fast, this loud, or this good. Inside the Browns facility, the air is thick with tension. What looked like a typical preseason depth battle has erupted into a full-blown internal rift. Sanders, through sheer performance and presence, has become the flashpoint of a team in transition. His accuracy, command, and football IQ have stunned not only fans but his own teammates. Veteran players are reportedly dividing into two camps. Some are defending the structure, the hierarchy that says rookies wait their turn. Others are quietly admitting Sanders might just be too good to wait. And the numbers don't lie. Internal performance metrics reveal that Sanders is outperforming seasoned quarterbacks across the board, from red zone efficiency to third down conversions to overall decision-making. But the most combustible subplot here? It's not just about Sanders. It's about Dillon Gabriel, a third-round pick. Expected a traditional arc, a year or two of development behind a starter, then a legitimate shot. It's what he got. Instead was a front-row seat to a rookie overtaking him. Fast. Sources close to the quarterback room describe Gabriel as spiraling. He's withdrawn in meetings, avoiding Sanders altogether. During drills, he maintains distance. Behind the scenes, he's reportedly showing signs of emotional and psychological strain. Quarterback coaches have attempted to mediate, but insiders say those attempts have failed, and the tension has reached critical mass. Then came the breaking point. During a padded practice session, Sanders, still working with the third-string unit, completed 17 consecutive passes, including 3 touchdowns. And not just against backups. This was against Cleveland's starting defense. The sideline fell silent. Reportedly hurled his helmet in frustration. Minutes later, the offensive coordinator made a stunning call. Sanders was bumped up to the first team. Gabriel didn't say a word. He stripped off his pads and vanished into the facility. What followed was pure unease, veterans whispered. Coaches exchanged concerned glances, and the unspoken question hung in the air: had something irreversible just happened? Since then, Gabriel's behavior has grown more erratic. He's reportedly skipped optional throwing sessions, canceled meetings with wide receivers, disengaged during film review. Even more concerning, he's begun documenting everything, from snap counts to sideline interactions, even how often each quarterback is mentioned in internal media. These notes are reportedly being shared with his agent to support a growing belief that the organization is biased in favor of Sanders. Internally, staff are growing alarmed, not just at Gabriel's performance, but his state of mind. Some have begun floating the idea of bringing in mental health support. The emotional weight of watching his position slip away in real time is taking a toll. And the locker room. It's now fractured. Older players are leaning into tradition. Respect the process, protect the order. But younger players see something different. Raw merit. A quarterback who, regardless of draft slot, is outperforming expectations by miles. And they want him under center. Gabriel, feeling cornered, has reportedly built a quiet alliance. A small group of offensive linemen who rally behind him, protect him during drills, and form a barrier, physical and emotional. Sanders, on the other hand, has clicked with receivers and skill players. The ones who catch his passes, the ones who see the difference up close. Even coaches outside the quarterback room are noticing the split. The special teams coordinator has raised concerns about social fragmentation. Position groups are starting to isolate. Fewer players are attending team dinners and bonding events. Now, while the defense remains neutral publicly, behind closed doors, many are conceding what's now obvious: Sanders is simply that good. Media attention is accelerating. Local reporters have picked up on Gabriel's posture, his expressions during practice. National coverage is beginning to swirl, and Sanders' online presence exploding. His social media following has already surpassed most of the roster. His highlights go viral before the play is even over. And yet, through all of this noise, Sanders remains still, focused, steady. He doesn't showboat, doesn't talk trash. He shows up before sunrise, leaves after everyone else. He studies film like a seasoned pro, offers tips during drills, extends a hand even to Gabriel. One assistant said any other rookie would be rattled by this kind of attention, but Sanders, he's thriving. Defensive coaches have tried to rattle him. Complex schemes, disguised coverages. Blitz looks reserved for Sundays. It doesn't matter. He reads it all, adjusts mid-play, drops dimes under pressure. Another staffer described it simply, he processes defenses like a veteran. You can't teach that. Gabriel, by contrast, is progressing like most rookies do. The problem? He's not competing with most rookies. He's up against a phenom, and the difference is glaring. But beneath the stat sheets and schemes lies something more human, something more personal. Dillon Gabriel is battling an identity crisis. He's not just losing a starting spot, he's losing the story he told himself. That hard work and patience would eventually be rewarded. That he had time now. Time is running out. Sanders wasn't supposed to be the one. Not yet. Not this soon. Not at the cost of another man's career. But here he is, taking the job by force of talent, work ethic, and unshakable focus. This isn't just competition. It's a collision of futures. One rising, one unraveling, and inside the Browns organization, it's becoming impossible to ignore. Each perfect pass from Sanders deepens the divide. Each frustrated glance from Gabriel tells a story. And with every rep, this quarterback battle turns into something bigger, a culture shift. Because what's happening in Cleveland isn't just about who wears the headset, it's about who owns the future. The Cleveland Browns are facing a full-blown internal storm, one that started as a simple quarterback competition but has now spiraled into something far more volatile and consequential. After a recent meeting where the head coach made it clear that performance would outweigh pedigree, Dillon Gabriel, normally a calm and calculated presence, left the room early, visibly shaken. It was a rare emotional display. And now, the coaching staff is deeply alarmed, not just about his mechanics, but about his mental and emotional unraveling. To diffuse the escalating tension, performance staff are introducing targeted team building strategies, trying to restore unity before week 1, but the fracture is deepening fast. Inside the locker room, two distinct factions have emerged. One side backs Shedeur Sanders, the breakout rookie who's impressed with his elite processing speed and raw talent. The offensive coordinator is said to be installing a custom playbook tailored to Sanders' strengths, while veteran receivers privately are requesting more snaps with him. Despite the political minefield of backing a newcomer, Gabriel's supporters, meanwhile, are stressing the team's financial commitment to him, the importance of a structured developmental arc, and the psychological risk of being leapfrogged so early in the process. The tension is now systemic, pulling at the foundation of Cleveland's roster strategy. This isn't just about quarterback reps, it's about identity. Sanders offers explosive upside and a shot at fixing the Browns' infamous slow starts. But Gabriel's decline paired with locker room unrest threatens cohesion, especially on a defense that's historically carried the team, sources say. Cleveland's leadership has rolled out an emergency response. A newly expanded council of veteran players is being brought in to provide feedback and help contain the rift. Practice sessions have been redesigned to maximize fairness without sacrificing competitive intensity. Intervention meetings are being held to address tension head-on. Gabriel, meanwhile, is undergoing personal counseling to manage the psychological strain of a collapsing role. It's clear now this isn't a blip. It's an organizational crisis. It's a defining test of leadership. And through it all, Sanders stays poised. It deflects headlines, steers interviews toward team unity, and continues to deliver at an elite level. He's silencing the room with execution, one staffer said. No politics. It's just performance. Ownership has taken notice not only of his on-field dominance, but his commercial magnetism. Sanders' social media impact, jersey sales, and rising fan interest have skyrocketed. Reports say marketing teams have already built campaigns around Sanders, with Gabriel's name nowhere in sight. The rookie is now the face of the franchise, at least in the public's eyes. But this spotlight has a cost. Sanders is being accelerated, mechanics are being sharpened, defensive reads fast-tracked, media access restricted to protect focus. The developmental plan is changing in real time, but that pressure may collide with the very structure needed. For sustainable success, Gabriel remains in the system, still receiving developmental reps, but with visible frustration and reduced trust. League sources say multiple teams are reaching out, curious about both quarterbacks. And for the Browns, this is now a rare convergence, a quarterback dilemma tangled with branding, psychology, and identity. Two young quarterbacks picked within rounds of each other are tearing open deeper issues about how the team manages. Talent adjusts to unexpected success and protects long-term cohesion. This is what happens when a franchise doesn't have a flexible system to handle breakout potential. Raw ability turns to instability. The ripple effect could stretch for seasons. If the Browns can't stabilize the quarterback room, Gabriel's disconnect could spiral. Trust could erode. Chemistry could collapse. The fallout might go far beyond who gets the next start. At stake is not just a quarterback decision, but a cultural one. Should Cleveland ride Sanders' undeniable momentum and risk alienating Gabriel entirely? Should they slow down and risk leaving wins on the table? Or can they walk the tightrope, slowly giving Sanders more control while guiding Gabriel through a psychological recovery? It's whatever the answer, it has to be deliberate. It has to be strategic. All eyes are now on Cleveland, not just from fans, but from executives around the league. Many are wondering how they missed on Sanders. Some are trying to poach. Others are taking notes on how the Browns respond to this storm, because make no mistake, this has become something bigger than a quarterback debate. This is a moment of transformation or collapse. Do the Browns adapt or do they cling to outdated systems? That choice will shape not only this season, but the entire trajectory of the franchise. Thanks for watching. If you're into deep dive breakdowns like this, hit like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. See you next time.